This video is brought to you by Squarespace, the best all-in-one platform for all of your website building needs. Hey guys, it's Celestia, and you've probably heard of Will You Press the Button? It's a site where people submit dilemmas with really good upsides and really bad downsides, and you get to decide whether or not you'd press the button if it meant both would happen. They range from like, you make the biggest scientific breakthrough in history but only get recognition for it hundreds of years after you die, or you live forever but none of your loved ones do, to you get free bananas for life but you have to eat the gross stringy things on the sides every time you have one, and you get free music streaming for life but there's a 50% chance that the next song that comes on will always be the Alvin and the Chipmunks cover of Witch Doctor. So it's definitely a spectrum when it comes to seriousness. But it was a trend a while back for creators to make videos choosing whether or not to press those buttons, and seeing if the majority of other players agreed with them or not. And I had completely forgotten about it until this one that Ice Cream Sandwich made popped up in my recommendations. Like every ice cream sandwich video, it goes without saying that it was funny, but it also made me start thinking about the trend again until I realized a missed opportunity. Art-themed Will You Press the Button? It's not like there's a shortage of scenarios that artists in particular would be uniquely infuriated by. So obviously I had to do it, because I never miss an opportunity to be uniquely infuriated. It's my passion. But I couldn't really come up with my own art dilemmas because, I mean, I'm gonna have a bias if I get to choose the upsides and the downsides, so it's not gonna be that hard of a choice. Thankfully, you guys came to my rescue and submitted a bunch of them, ranging from the genuinely thought-provoking to the oddly specific and weird as hell, which is perfect. Balance. Anyway, I compiled 30 of them and posted them on Will You Press the Button so that you could all press or not press them yourselves. And now it's time to see what you chose and see if I agree or think you're insane. Or if you think I'm insane, I guess, but I think that ship has sailed. But before I do, let me take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Squarespace. You know Squarespace very well if you've watched this channel for a while, because I gush about them so often that without fail, every time I post a video where I don't, I get at least 5 comments demanding to know what happened, if I'm okay, and where Squarespace is. And I love that, because if there was ever going to be a sponsor that became a legitimate staple of my videos, I'm glad it's them. They're my favorite, and in my opinion, the best, website building and hosting platform out there. Something I learned firsthand long before working with them when I built my personal Duchess Celestia portfolio there. They're always my first recommendation for artists looking to build their own, because they make showcasing your work beautifully so easy. But what's just as cool is how easy they make it to sell your work too. Squarespace lets you turn any site into a fully functional online store with all the tools you need to get your business up and running, from managing payments and inventory to shipping and fulfillment, not to mention awesome SEO tools that help you reach as many customers as possible. And it's not just physical goods you can sell either. They've got just as many options to let you sell services too. Consultations, event management, editing, even art commissions. Their tools make selling anything easy, with a streamlined workflow, built-in appointment scheduling, email marketing tools, and so much more. And your customers have just as many options as you do too. They offer all of the most popular payment methods like Klarna, ACH Direct Debit, Apple Pay, Afterpay, and ClearPay, and even allow you the option to send individualized branded invoices to specific clients, so you can start accepting orders from all around the world with just a few clicks. So whether you're an artist in need of a portfolio, an entrepreneur building an online store, a creator setting up an interactive blog, or a small business owner making a landing page, Squarespace is the place to do it. And you can find it yourself by going to squarespace.com to get your own free trial today. And once you've built the perfect site that you're ready to launch, you can get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain by going to squarespace.com/DuchessCelestia, linked in the description. Thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video, and please go check them out. Now let's start pressing some buttons. Or not, actually. I've seen your buttons, I posted them, and I can tell you right now that I am way too much of a baby to press a lot of them. You guys are mean. In fairness, that is the point, but still. Okay, time to suffer. Let's look at the first one. Drawing no longer results in any discomfort, pain, or physical exhaustion, but every time you finish a drawing, you must then draw something you consider cringe. And if the finished drawing is published, the cringe drawing must also be published. Okay, the fact that it has to be specifically something I consider cringe and not something society considers cringe makes this harder, because I really don't consider a lot of things cringe. I actually can't think of anything I could draw that would really qualify. Okay, wait, no, I am wrong. In middle school, I drew myself and my evil true self, and I wrote the lyrics to Hatsune Miku's Game of Life beside it to really drive home how much of an edgy villain mastermind I was at age 12 because I lied once and skipped class and shoplifted a chocolate bar, or whatever other nefarious criminal acts I was committing at the time. That was cringe. But I'm showing you now anyway, and I don't even get lifelong relief from carpal tunnel for it, so I'm clearly just not capable of enough shame to be deterred by this button. I'd press it. Huh. You know, I actually didn't expect to be in the majority for that one. It's surprisingly close. For as much as the internet shames any semblance of cringe the moment it detects it, I guess people aren't actually all that scared of that. That's nice. Or they're just really, really sick of their hands turning into unmovable claws after drawing for 7 straight hours. I don't know, maybe both. Okay, next. You can draw hands perfectly in every art style, but you can't draw arms properly anymore. Yeah, that's an easy no for me. I spent the entirety of middle school and some of high school drawing all of my characters with their hands in their pockets so I wouldn't have to draw them. I know how easy it is to get away with. You can't put arms in pockets. Baggy sleeves, I guess, but you can draw a lot of outfits with pockets. You can't draw nearly as many with baggy sleeves. I refuse to go back to drawing arms like I did back in like 2010 and not even have the ability to hide them. I will not. Yeah, see, you guys get it. Well, most of you get it. The rest of you, explain yourselves. Explain to me how this is worth this looking like this. I'll be waiting. Okay, next button. You can draw in your favorite art style perfectly, but you can never draw in any other style again. Alright, this one is actually really hard. How specific of a favorite art style are we talking here? Am I allowed to draw like this and like this, since both are in the anime art style? Or do I have to pick one because they're different styles within the anime style? And is my favorite style allowed to change over time, or am I stuck with the one that's my favorite now? You know what? It doesn't matter. I can't give up painting and horror art, I just can't. I'll take being mediocre at my style over being stuck with just it forever. I need to be able to make a hyper-realistic oil painting of Nicolas Cage if I want to. I don't, but I need the freedom to. I need that to be my choice. An option. You never know when the need will arise. Yeah, I can see why you guys were torn on this one too. It's really hard. And like, for some people who really only enjoy working in one style, it would probably be easy, but it's so hard to just like one style of art, I don't know. Anyway, next button. You can completely finish an artwork in 3 minutes, but your favorite meal tastes horrible for the following week. This one is just uniquely mean for me because I literally eat the same thing every single day. So it's not like I could just avoid it if it started tasting horrible. It's eat it or die. And I could probably live with that every once in a while if it meant making impossible deadlines, but I don't think I would survive it being a constant thing. Like if I could choose to finish most of my art at my regular speed, but do the super fast 3-minute art only when I really needed to, like as a treat, that would be fine. I don't think I'd do it often, but I would do it. But not if it happened every time I made a piece of art. I would literally just starve. And I don't know if this button means I can do it at will or I automatically do it every time, so I'm gonna play it safe and not press it. Huh. I honestly didn't think that one would be so close. I mean, your favorite food tasting awful sucks, but most people aren't eating their favorite food every day anyway, right? I feel like if you can eat whatever, then going a week without one particular thing wouldn't be that hard. But I guess the same thing applies, like, if it happens every time you finish a piece of art, and not just when you choose and you draw a lot, you're pretty much never gonna have your favorite food again. Yeah, no, I take it back, I get it. Okay, next. You have unlimited access to every single art program that's ever existed and will ever exist, but you only get to draw between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. each day. Nope, absolutely not. I don't think I could survive a week of only being able to draw for 2 hours a day, much less my whole life. I literally do not do anything else if I don't have to. No art program will make it worth it to have to like branch out and find a hobby and diversify my life or something. I refuse. I will not. Okay, it's reassuring that most of you agree and I'm not the only one who does nothing but draw. Although, in fairness, maybe it's not the fact that it's only a 2-hour-a-day limit that some of you take issue with, but the fact that that window takes place, like, directly during dinner time for most people. Which is fair. And like, what if you work during 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. most days? You'd literally never get to draw. It's just too mean. You're valid. Moving on, next button. Your OCs will never be mistaken for other characters with similar traits again, but no one will ever be able to recognize characters you draw fan art of no matter how accurately you draw them. Alright, let me preface this by saying I completely understand the burning rage that comes from having your characters constantly compared to other characters from existing media. The number of comments I get saying, your Sona looks like X character from X thing because they just both have blue hair. Like, yeah, thank you for reducing the entire design to solely the most basic resemblance to someone else's. But at the same time, I think it's meant as a compliment a lot of the time that people say it, because they're usually trying to say, I like your character because they look like this other character I like. And when they're not, it's helpful feedback to be told that they really do look too much like them, and that maybe should be changed. Comparison, even when it's frustrating to hear over and over, isn't inherently insulting. And it would bug me way fucking more to have no one know that this is Chuya or Fyodor or Dazai, because literally what else do I draw? That would be a living hell. I can't do it. I refuse. Mistake my OCs for whoever you want so long as you recognize my boys. Oh damn, okay, I don't think I've ever actually seen such a landslide of no's. Wow. Fair though, honestly. You don't draw fan art to not have it recognized as being fan art, and I respect the mass devotion to avoiding anyone not knowing you're drawing your favorite little guy. Alright, next up. You gain access to a website that shows you all of your art skill stats in real time, which allows you to see yourself gain experience and watch how you improve every step of the way. But there's a 20% chance that you end up drawing Tobey Maguire's exact facial proportions no matter who you draw, and you'll only notice when you post the finished piece. Okay, I do get the appeal here. It would basically be like having a constantly available mentor telling you exactly what you need to improve on at any given moment, and there's pretty much nothing that'll help you get better faster than that. I'm not saying I don't want that, but no offense, Toby, not even that is worth the risk that I'm gonna spend 15 hours making a Bungo Stray Dogs print only for it to turn out looking like this, or I finally start redrawing my Celestia sprites and 20% of them come out looking like this. Not only can I not allow myself to make something that cursed, I definitely can't allow myself to make it the rest of the world's problem by posting it. Hard no. Yeah, I can't say I'm surprised to be in the majority with that one. Again, no offense, Toby, there's nothing wrong with your face, I just don't want it on everyone I draw, and I don't think that's unreasonable. Okay, next button is a wake-up call that I draw way too much BSD fan art, but not one I plan to be stopped by. Food delivery services now accept newly made Bungo Stray Dogs fan art from you as payment, but every time you hit undo, you hear the Vine boom sound. No question, I'm pressing it. I'll never need to pay for food again, and I'll probably learn through necessity to stop using the undo tool so much. Or just develop some kind of Pavlovian response to the Vine boom sound that makes me both hungry and gives me a "I just drew Chuya again" dopamine rush. Either way, worth it. Okay, first of all, I am so glad so many of you understand the true value of BSD fan art. It's relieving to know I'm not suffering through this obsession alone. Second of all, I'm starting to think that all of us might be underestimating the volume of the Vine boom sound. Like, yes, this could be free food forever in return for drawing the characters we already wanted to draw, but thinking about the idea that it's gonna be at the cost of blowing out my eardrums every single time makes me almost regret pressing it. Not enough to not press it, though, I stand by it. Alright, next we have, you become a master of one art style of your choice, but you must show the public your middle/high school sketchbooks in return. You underestimate me, button. I already made a video like 5 years ago showing the whole internet my middle and high school sketchbooks for nothing in return, because I'm physiologically incapable of shame. If anything, you owe me mastery of an art style in return, with interest. Give me 2 perfect styles, maybe even 3 now that I'm bringing more attention to it. Aww. Honestly, it actually makes me really happy that so many people would share their early sketchbooks so freely. It's sincerely wholesome to know that so many people value improvement over pride and are okay with admitting that, like literally everyone else on the planet, they were a beginner once. That makes me happy. But it's time for the next button, which is notably harder. All generative AI technology vanishes, but all of the art made by you and your favorite artists does as well. The fact that it's my art and that of my favorite artists makes this unbearable. I'd press it in a second if it was just mine, but my favorite artists have inspired like everything I've ever made, consciously or subconsciously, and I'm sure they've done that for a lot of other artists too. They inspire the real human creativity required to make real art. Their contributions are, at least as far as I'm concerned, too significant to just throw away, especially without their permission. I don't know. I want generative AI gone, but I don't want to throw away the most inspirational and beautiful pieces I know of just to make that happen. Defending ourselves against AI means defending the value of human-made work, and I don't want to destroy that human-made work just to accomplish that goal. Okay, you know, that one got too real. It kind of reassures me that a lot of you agree, honestly. I don't know if it's out of love for the work that you've made or a desire not to lose the work that you love, but it doesn't really matter. The fact that most people want to preserve human creativity more than they want to erase the biggest plagiarist of it makes me weirdly optimistic. And leave it to the next button to force me to contradict myself directly afterwards. Thanks. Generative AI disappears forever, but you also lose all ability to draw forever. See, I basically just said that generative AI is what's killing creativity, so I should obviously want to obliterate it. And I do, deeply. But would I obliterate it at the cost of the only thing that gives my life purpose? I don't think I could. Like, yeah, that makes me selfish enough to keep me up at night, but I don't do anything that isn't art-related. I play a video game for 10 minutes and my most positive response is the desire to make art inspired by it. I see a beautiful person or landscape or flower or building and immediately feel the need to draw them. Art is every part of my life and I sincerely don't think I could survive giving it up no matter the collective benefit. Thanks, button game, for making me realize I'm an asshole. That will not, however, unfortunately, stop me from being one. Yeah, I kind of figured most people would be in the same boat. It's hard to be passionate enough about art to be against generative AI, and also willing to just give up creating it forever. You only really get that angry about something devaluing and plagiarizing a thing if you really love it. And it's very not easy to just cut something that you love that much out of your life completely, even if it is for what you believe to be the greater good. Maybe that's selfish. Well, it's definitely selfish. But selfishness is human, and I think that's okay. Or maybe I'm just trying to make myself feel better about being a selfish asshole. Hard to say. Moving on. Next button, you become the greatest artist of a single medium, but you can never learn or progress in any other artistic field. Alright, I actually spent a long-ass time considering this one, because my god is it tempting. I started with traditional art and I still sketch and paint regularly, but the vast majority of the art that I make for work, and even for myself, is digital. So mastery of digital art being mine if I just give up the types of art that are essentially my hobbies is a hard thing to say no to. But tempting as it is, I just don't think it would be worth it for me. Not just because I love painting and sketching, but because my favorite medium was traditional art once, and then it was digital, then it was briefly mixed media, then writing, and then back to digital. It changes over time, and being married to only one artistic medium is just too much of a creative cage to willingly lock myself into, knowing that I won't be in love with it forever. Oh, thank God. Okay, I thought I was just being a baby. I'm glad I'm not alone in not pressing this one, because it was so tempting that I honestly did think I would be. But let's move on to the next one, which is really similar and yet infinitely more impossible. You can draw as well as you want, and each piece will turn out just like you want it to, but you can't pursue any other hobby or skill for the rest of your life. It's basically the previous one, but it goes significantly harder. It was, you can master one art style but never any others, and now it's, you can master all art styles but do nothing else with your life. And at first that was actually a no-brainer, because, as I've said already, I do nothing else with my life as it is, and I may as well get some skills in return for that. But then I thought more about it and realized how many other hobbies and skills are involved with making art, like marketing, scripting and researching, and editing videos, gaming and getting inspired to make fan art of what I play, plotting out my comic and my video game, graphic design, branding. There's so much more involved in making art than just making art if you want to do it as a job, and I don't see an alternative to doing it as a job if it's the only thing I can do with my life. And not only are all of those things vital if you actually want to succeed, meaning that lacking skill at them would be more detrimental career-wise than not being an art god by far, I actually like them. They're fun. Even if most of my life is spent drawing, I still spend a lot of it looking forward to and enjoying the moments that are spent on other things I enjoy too, and I don't think I could give that up. Oh, validation, my sweet prince. God bless. Again, I'm glad I'm not the only one, because it either means I'm not being a baby, or this is a normal thing to be a baby about. I'll take either. Anyway, next button. Your artwork provides a steady stream of disposable income for the rest of your life, but you become a human-sized Toho Fumo. No, I'm good. As much as having my art generate financial stability indefinitely appeals to me, and it appeals to me a lot, I just don't think I'd be able to enjoy having that money if I had to live as a human-sized Fumo. No offense to Fumos, I'm not going to stand here and tell you that they're not cute as hell, but interacting with society as a living one does not sound like my idea of a good time. Also, human-sized Fumo doesn't necessarily mean like a human with Fumo proportions. It could just be an inanimate plushie the size of a human. And at that point, I don't think money would do me much good. I also couldn't draw to earn it anyway. And am I still going to have a conscious human mind just trapped in an inanimate body indefinitely? That sounds like a very special kind of hell that I am not even vaguely interested in experiencing, so no thank you. Jesus, 50-50? That might be the most surprising one so far, actually. I sincerely thought more people would take issue with living life as basically a gigantic chibi in a regularly proportioned world. Maybe I'm a conformist. Maybe I just enjoy not having the back pain that would come from having a head the size of my torso. I don't know. But apparently this is a me problem, because the rest of you are clearly fine with the Fumo life, and I'm just a coward undeserving of its glory. Either way, let's move on to the next button so I can stop thinking about having locked-in syndrome in a pile of cotton. All of your artistic self-doubt disappears forever, but your art skill is permanently locked at its current level. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, escaping self-doubt is something I would do almost anything to achieve. It would be really nice if after over a decade of drawing, I felt capable and qualified to draw, like, a sphere, without assuming it would be an abysmal failure before even starting. And like, imagine actually liking all of the art that you make and being proud of it, rather than creating a mental PowerPoint presentation of all of its flaws every time you look at it. What a concept. But I'm just not happy enough with my current skill level to cap it there, you know? My art skill has so much room for improvement, and I can be so much better of an artist than I am now, and I want to be. And I'd rather be able to than suddenly develop a healthy relationship with self-confidence. I've spent 27 years hating my art, and that's not about to stop me from making it now. Not pressing it. Oh wow, that is way more of a landslide majority than I thought it would be. Damn. Respect to the almost non-existent 4% of artists that are happy with their own skill, though. I didn't think those actually existed. To the rest of you, I look forward to our indefinite shared suffering. Okay, that was the 15th button, and there are 30, and this video is already this long, so I'm starting to realize it might have been a little short-sighted of me to think I could do all of them in one video. I see the error in my ways now, albeit like half an hour too late. So to avoid this turning into an hour-long video, I will leave it at just the first half of them for now. If you guys liked it, please let me know, and I will happily be back with the second half in part 2 because this was really fun. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Special thank you as always to channel members Joseph Solomon, TC Pratt, Haruki Saluzzo, Peachy, King Good James, Art of Amethyst Fable, Extinction Animation, Andy the Hedgehog, Kai the Memer, Jazz, Abyss Reborn, Veranote, and Just Sayori, as well as patrons Batman, Kyle Lowe, Blue Swanson, Cora Fear, Jamisha Walker, Lengshi, Kim Yen, Crazy Asar, Gentong, Grayson Xavier, Blah Mage, TC Pratt, Finn, Celine Merriman, Aldrichia, The Stray Dog, Ulura, Greg Noble, Decagon, Jenny Chan, Catbus, Mac, Lucia Majiki, Selena Bibi, Pryday, Totally Shogun, Insomniac Sleep Schedule, Wing Tang Wong, Marie Greer, Potato, Jazz, Voidwalker, Latte Tabby, and Christian Cook, and I'll see you in the next one.